my fellow brothers and sisters from southern Cameroon. While many of us cherish the fact that we are Cameroonians because we were born Cameroonians, we need not lose sight of the fact that there are so many of us who, out of legitimate frustrations from the horrendous indignities imposed on us by the regime in Yaoundé, attempted by the idea of an imaginary nation. We should have realized that when the realities of life refuse to give us the lives of our dreams, many get stuck in the dreams of their lives. Cameroon is a harsh and brutal reality that has ceased from being the hope of the dreams of many of our fellow compatriots. This explains the reason why many have turned to living in a dream of a country as opposed to living in a country of their dreams. No one wants to live in a reality where peaceful protesters are transformed into game to be hunted by the rifles of an army at the service of a terror regime. Also, no one wants to live in a nightmare where they are at the mercy of pseudo freedom fighters whose favorite business is kidnapping for ransom. I stand here to submit to you that there is a better way. Ours is a peaceful revolution. Ours is a peaceful resistance that will ultimately lead us to our goal. Our goal is self-determination. Self-determination that is predicated around the idea that if you make people masters of their destinies, they will build and preserve for themselves a peaceful nation. That is what we seek for Cameroon. If we are genuinely concerned about the return of peace to our affected regions, then we must muster the courage to tell the truth to the belligerents on the ground. While the violence and social turbulence resulting from the war is causing the irreparable loss of precious lives from both the Ambazonian separatist armed groups and the armed forces of our country, not forgetting the thousands of innocent civil casualties in between, we must point to who started the killings. Any right-minded person will tell you that it is the government, unfortunately, our government, that started the killings. The first human casualties in the crisis were from among the civilian population of peaceful southern Cameroonian protesters who were demanding the restoration of their human dignity. The perpetrator of the killing was the government of our country. In their protest, they were demanding for something that is sustained by the very ideology that undergirds the foundation of the formation of our nation in 1961. And this something that they were demanding is the right to self-determination that is crystallized by the idea of a federal system of government as adopted by our founding fathers. Our nation, Cameroon, was formed on the idea that two people with two distinct sociocultural persuasions inherited from their dark colonial history can live together and forge a common destiny that valorizes their individual dignities. Out of the goodwill and good faith of good people from both sides of the Mungo River, a nation that had never before existed in the annals of human history was constituted. This nation was baptized the Federal Republic of Cameroon. Bad faith only stepped in when Amadou Ahidjo and his neo-imperial French cronies, aided by some egocentric, self-seeking and self-serving mercenary politicians from southern Cameroons, by means of a truncated referendum, thwarted the vision of a giant nation in the making by abrogating the federation that peacefully put us together. Since then, our unified, peaceful existence has been turned into a fragmented existence whereby one of the pieces is the subject of all sorts of abject social ridicule and social marginalization. I am calling for the unity of all peace-loving Southern Cameroonians from Southwest and Northwest alike to unite in this struggle to put an end to the war in our land and bring the regime to respect our rights to self-determination. Let us not fall in the enemy's ploy of pitting us against each other. It is not because of any of us, Southwest or Northwest, that the deep seaport in Limbe ceases to give us access to the exuberant oceans of world trade. It is not because of any of us, Southwest or Northwest, that the international airport at Tico ceases from connecting us to the rest of the world. It is not because of any of us, Southwest or Northwest, that our power plant at Yoke was dried without provision for an alternative source of energy to power our land. It is not because of any of us, Southwest or Northwest, that the taxes from the huge corporation on our land, fueled by the toil and sweat of our people, are transferred elsewhere. I believe that more than ever before, there is a need for all people of goodwill to support our desire to live in a country that brings to reality the dream of our forebears as enshrined in the desecrated Federal Constitution of Cameroon of 1961. The days ahead will certainly be very challenging. But let us not lose hope to the cynics who peddle the idea that we are irredeemable bond servants of their new imperial system. The odd may be against us, for we are caught up in the brutal crossfire between a regime whose tools of governance are arrogance and terror, and the ruthless armed separatist groups that have lost all bearings of hope for a life of dignity through peaceful civil action. I remain convinced to the core of my heart that despite all the evil against us, a new federated Cameroon, anchored on the solid foundation of the old dreams of our forebears, remain our best hope. Let us all stand and struggle for it. God bless Cameroon.